kids, welcome back to Roto Talk.
Kids, welcome back. It has been a while and I apologize. I apologize to Uncle Joe and all of you guys that were looking forward to this. It's been a trying time. We've had some issues in the family, nothing too serious. Some stuff with Mrs. Rotogeek. She's fine now. Just some medical things we had to deal with, and family and life and holidays, and happy birthday to America, 249 happy days. So we're going to get ready to get this going again. So what I did do, where we left off, we glued in the supports, the transom doubler in the back, okay? What I did with the bottom piece, okay, so you got three bottom pieces. You got the aft piece, the mid, and the nose. There's the nose, right? So what it says in the manual to do is to glue it with tight bond wood glue. You can go ahead and do that if you want. I'm going to use the method that I use. So one of the things that I usually do with smaller riggers is I'll take 90-degree aluminum rail, metal rail, and I'll screw them into the workbench, and then I clamp the sides of the boat to that, and that's usually how I glue things together on the smaller ones. This piece here, the forward, it says FWD in laser right there. That goes towards the front. Obviously, these spots here are for aligning the ski in the back. Thank you, Uncle Joe, for putting in keyways for that. Now lining it up is nice and flipping easy. It's very, very nice. So I already glued or epoxied the first in. I lined everything up real nice, epoxied in, but I left the back. All right. So how I usually do this: make sure you're squared up. Okay. So since you're dealing with laser cut, it's real nice. Everything's already nice and evened out. All right, and what I'll do is I'll take some CA glue, and what I do is I just tack a little bit. I take some medium CA, some kicker. You don't need a ton, okay? This is just to hold it in place. And what I do is I go around the edges, and I want to make sure, this is just so I don't have to use as many clamps and whatnot. I use the glue as a clamp. All right, the CA glue, and that didn't work. So anyway, there should be a little bit of overhang on the back as well. See that trip? All right. So what we can do is we'll go ahead, and again, I just like to. I'm an epoxy guy. This is how I roll. You don't have to do it that way. But I'm not patient enough to use wood glue on everything. Okay. All right, so then what we're going to do, after we get all this stuff nice and seamed up, okay, I'm going to take some epoxy, mix it up in our super secret little silicone doohickeys here. These are awesome, so you don't have to waste a bunch of little cups. We're going to take some brushes. Now, in the links of all my videos for you new guys, all the tools I use, or at least 95% of them, I have a Amazon list, and I use these generic little throwaway brushes and cups, silicone cups. You just pop the stuff out and you're good. So we're going to mix them up 50-50. I'm using, depends on my mood, I either use DevCon, and I've never had a problem with it. I built a lot of boats with it, never had an issue, or I use Bob Smith. That's just what, but any two-part epoxy pretty much works. It's all the same. Don't let them lie to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do all your vertical seams, fillets, everywhere you're going to go, and I do weight it down even though I have it CA glued, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to show you where to place the middle and the bow, and we'll get this all set. Okay, be right back. Right, we are back. So, yeah, just been thinking it's good to be back out in the shop. It's been unbelievably, brutally hot here in northern Indiana. like 95, da da da. One of the other things I was doing, I had to rip the deck off my mom's house at the other lake, and had to do a bunch of that kind of honeydew stuff for your elderly parents type of shit. And yeah, I was thinking, man, it's 85 today, which isn't too bad, but I don't have an air conditioning shop. Never will. Just been busy. And we started the season with such low water in my lake, that the weeds, I'd said this in a couple videos before, the weeds were just unbelievable. My cousin's still putting in, my cousin's the skier, family skier, they're still putting in weed killer to get rid of all of it. It's like, they never put in weed killer this late. Frickin' nuts, man. Alright, so now, what you're going to do is we're going to take the midsection, we're going to put it right up to these notches. Make sure this is nothing hanging up, no nubbies. Okay, put that in there, and again, I'm just going to CA glue that. Square it up. I need to get new CA glue in there. Hang on. So, this is what I use. Glue Masters. Does not sound too generic, does it? Alright. I'm going to get rid of this. Bear with me. So, what I do when I fill these is I squeeze the little bottle like that, and then I let it expand a little bit. That way it doesn't get an air trap and get glue all over the frickin' whatchamacallit, all over the bottle. The other thing you want to do with this too, where the hell am I? Always wipe off your super glue. Keeps the life expectancy of your nozzle. Ha! Take that any way you want it. Keeps the life expectancy of your nozzle much better. And get rid of this. So, what I'm going to do with this one, okay, that's going to go like that. And you're going to have a little bit of an overlap right there. And then we're going to do the exact same thing, all right, with the front. Just like this, okay? And each one's going to overlap so you have some water shed. It makes everything faster. Make sure these are nice and cleared off. See that little gunk of glue? There we go. Okay. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. So what we can do here, you can put some, instead of using CA, you can use some epoxy, put it on your rails, glue it down, however you want to do it. Okay. Put a weight on it, or tape it. You can use masking tape, works really good. Okay. However you want to do it. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll be right back. While that's cooking, now one of the things I do is I will, even though I put weights on these, just so like when the epoxy's drying, I don't have any warp, any twist on there. Not quite as crucial on one of these, but it works pretty good. Keep some weight on there. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our water lines in. Now, the water lines, brass tube, we're just going to slide them in. Here. Okay, no big deal. 3/4 of an inch hanging off of each end, right? What I do, I've always done this. I don't know. Maybe it's a little overkill. Gently put one of these things in your drill bit, your chuck. Doesn't have to be tight. Don't make it tight. And then I just spin it. Little piece of sandpaper, just like that. Like I said, you barely want any tension on that chuck. And you don't have to get the very end. Okay. Do it this way. I'm just using 100 grit sandpaper. Okay. Make sure you didn't kink the ends, which we did not. That's nice. Happy days. I take some rubbing alcohol, not rubbing it. I'm sorry. Woo! Been a while, guys. Denatured alcohol. Clean this off. And slide them through. Open up the holes a little bit if you need to. This whole process, you might have gotten a little bit of gunk in there. Alright. And then we're just going to take some epoxy. Just make them about even on each end. And we're going to just dab a little bit of epoxy in there. You don't need much, like the directions say. This is actually, this method works better than tubing, like silicone tubing. It's actually lighter. If you weigh a piece of silicone tubing in the same length as this, the tubing's actually heavier. So if you're looking to save weight, this is the way to do it. I do that with the sandpaper for two reasons. One, it really cleans it, so the epoxy sticks to it really well, and it also gives it like a little bit of knurl, if you will. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's pretty cool. Gives the epoxy something to stick to. All right, we'll go ahead and epoxy that up. Be right back. And we're back. So now we're gonna put in the lid support. All right, looks like this, LS, and it's gonna go right here. Now it says to use tight bond on this, and this time I'm gonna, because we're gonna do a couple of little things. Don't usually use tight bond for much. It's good stuff, don't get me wrong. So we're gonna put that in the slot, take a clamp. Perfect. All right. Now, Uncle Joe, if you're watching, my directions, now I have like V1. I think I have the original, very first off the press, even though I'm doing this very late in the game. I think I probably have the first rendition. There's nothing in my manual that says anything about putting in the tube supports. Hang on. That smoking hot wife interruption. So, I might have like Rev 1 of the manual, but in my manual, in my instructions, it didn't have, didn't say when to put in the tube doublers. So, not a big deal, but you do have to make sure that you put these in. So, I'm assuming, alright, yep. So, round back, I flip the tub around, and what I'm going to do with these, okay, we're going to epoxy the backs. All right, I am going to clamp them in, but I'm going to align them first with the tubes and then clamp them in like so. All right, so and we're going to use the tubes just to line everything up. All right, be right back. So next bit that we're going to do some sealing. And we're going to attach our bait box inner frame, and we're going to seal the nose up in there. We're going to seal up the bulkheads with all with epoxy, because once you get all this stuff in, it's going to be difficult to do. Now, what I'm going to use, and we're just going to use blue tape to clamp it down. I'll probably set a weight on there too. Good old-fashioned clamping. We're going to use T88. This is a old school 24-hour epoxy, brutal stuff, but it literally takes 24 hours. But if you're using West systems, that takes damn near all night too. So whatever, because I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, seal up some bits and bobs of the tub, and then set this aside, and we'll start working on a sponson or two. Okay, so this T88 is good stuff if you have the time. Like I said, it's brutal. Hopefully its stuff's still good. We're gonna let these go inverted for a momento. 50-50. Ish. My accurate measuring. Okay. Now, when you're doing that much epoxy, you probably should do it by weight and measure. Okay. But I've done this enough to know that'll be alright. Okay. So what we're going to do first, attempted actually to thin this with a little bit of alcohol. I think I will. Be right back. So, since we're using this as a sealer, this is just denatured alcohol. I'm just going to thin that out a little bit. Not going to hurt it. That's sloppy. Messy. My phone. Okay. Just thinning it out a little bit. Actually, okay. And once you work the alcohol in there, that's better. Alright. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to seal this up. So whichever brush you want to use, where did I just put it? There it is. Alright. So again, we're going to get the hard to reach areas here, because these are going to be difficult to do once everything's buttoned up. Trying to get any on the tops or whatever yet, but again, the hard to reach areas, might as well do it now while you got the access. Always try to look ahead. Riggers are exceptionally easy to build. Just take your time. Buddies and I talk in their boat group, and again, if you want to join our little boat group, shoot me an email. It's in the description, and I will send you a link for our little clubby wubby. It's an online thing. We have fun. Talk about all sorts of good stuff. Mostly RC, but some other dude-ish things too. Okay. You also want to get... Oh, be right back. So I went ahead, sealed everything up that's going to be hard to reach, and I also did the nose. Yip-de-doo. Then we're going to seal the back of this, place it down, make sure you scrape in here in case you've got any epoxy or whatnot. Alright, and then we're just going to tape this down, and that'll be it. Alright, so real quick, we'll do that. Alright, high speed through this here. Alright, put that face down on there, and then we're just going to tape clamp it. Nice fit. Some rubbing alcohol. I ran out of gloves. I thought I had my gloves. Don't, and it's a mess. It's alright. So, and then we're just going to tape this up with blue tape, going across, and I'll probably set a weight on it too. Nothing heavy, nothing major anyway. Just like that. And I'll use the rest of that epoxy. Do some sealing. Why I made that so short. But again, just want to make sure these are nice and flat and flush. And that's it. We'll set this aside, come back for a sponson. Be right back. I cleaned up the bench a little bit. That was bugging even me. So we're going to start off with the right sponson. The right sponson, if you're looking down at the boat going forward, right sponson is going to have the turn fin on it. Okay. So laser marks get glued to the foam. All right. So out is outside, in is inside. So if this is your sponson, outside, inside. Okay. Now, starting with the right one, the left one's going to be exactly the same, only a little bit easier. The right one has these dowels. This is what your turn fin bolts into. And you want to make sure, before you get going on glue, make sure all this crap fits. Because if it doesn't, bad day at the zoo. Should use 30-minute epoxy for this. I've done this enough times. I'm usually okay using 15 or whatever. No big deal. So what we're going to do, those I put in last. All right. You can take your pins. These are the boom pins. These go eventually get glued in to the sponsons. and then they go into the aluminum tubes, right? But for right now, we're going to use these just for alignment. All right. So put this on, and just make sure you just don't want to make your life any harder when you get all your epoxy mixed up. It's like, oh, this shit doesn't fit. I mean, you don't want to like throwing a hot dog down a hallway or nothing, but you know, you want a nice fit. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to, you can clamp them, you can tape them. You know, I usually, what I do is I glue the wood, right? No shit. But I smear the epoxy on the wood part, not the foam. You'll use less epoxy that way because foam's porous, right? And then I'll slap them together. No big deal. And then what I'll do, you got the pins in there. I'll take some wax paper, put it down, go like that, pull these out, maybe put them back in a couple times, make sure you're still copacetic. But before I even do that, what I'll do is I'll take 5-pound weights or whatever you want, bricks, whatever, on a nice flat surface, put one here, put one here, put one here. I don't even clamp them. And then once it's in place, I pull the pins, bada big. Now, fucking bee, get out of here. Now this one's a little bit tricky. We're going to do it this way because these have to be plunged in there as well. Okay? Easy peasy. Okay, so everything fits. Everybody's copacetic. Okay, this side's going to be down. Like that. Let me grab some wax. So we're going to use our... I don't have any 30-minute epoxy. Not very well prepared. This is about the only thing you need it for on this boat. So I'm going to use the T88 again, which takes all night. But that's okay. You're kind of playing with fire if you use 10-minute on this. It's very hard to get it really well mixed and smeared over that much surface area. Not the easiest task. I stole some of my old lady's gardening for chickens gloves. But anyway, mix this up, and we'll be able to use it for this and the next piece as well, and it'll just be that much better. No hurry, right? All right. What was I gonna say? Damn, forgot. Again, this stuff's really thick. You could probably thin it out if you want. Help it along. Where's the brush? So, 2 pieces of wax paper. This is the paper I'm actually going to let it sit on to cure, and this is the paper I'm going to use just to smear it. I want to do it reasonably quick, tidy. Okay. It's like, ugh. I should have thinned this down. Sure hope this stuff's still good. It's really grainy. Okay. Nice thing about using this long cure epoxy, and this is long. It's the longest curing epoxy I think you can buy. I'm trying to remember what project I bought this for. Somebody had recommended it to me. It's like, you want some really good, like the ultimate strength epoxy. This is the schmutz to get. Okay, easy peasy. Now, what we're going to do, so, this is the inside. This is the out. Okay, we take our pins. Okay. Yes, we are going to have to clean these off. All right. Then, before we do anything else, we're going to take more epoxy. We're going to do the pins. so forth. And usually I don't do it that way. Usually I actually glue inside the foam. I just forgot. So usually I do this. And it's going to squirt out the bottom too. Okay. Trust me, it'll stay. Built a lot of riggers. I've never had one fall apart yet. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then do this. See it come out. Same thing with this. Woo! Schmutzy. Okay. Then hang and bounce here. I'm going to push the pins down. It's just how I do it, obviously. And I take a weight. Very carefully. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's it. Cowabunga. Alright, so I'm going to do that with the next sponson. Rinse and repeat. Be right back. Hey, those are both done now. Alright, now let it cook until tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll finish them up. The rest of it's pretty quick, not hard at all. We can use 10-minute epoxy. Boom, 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 boom. Sand them down, put the panels on them, and get her down the road. So until then, kids, keep dry side up. Bye.